Hey everybody. First of all, thanks so much for the kind comments and from the last video, and I really appreciate that. It is has been my mission for a long time to kind of get this going again. So this topic today is actually inspired by a comment that I had read from Alex B. So thank you on that. And it is regarding expressing ourselves. So for myself, I find that it is very difficult. And there's a couple of reasons for it. And I'd love to hear other people's point of view on this as well. First off, I find it very exhausting to go through the process of trying to express, especially the emotion side of things. So even though we don't necessarily show it, we definitely have all the emotions, and usually they're a little bit more on the dark side, I find, for myself. But I also find it interesting because the majority of people, I am under the assumption, are more in the ability to just quickly show all of their emotions, and they expect you to do the same. And I find that I'm almost jealous of it, because I'd rather have that than having to go through the steps that I personally need to take as an INTJ. So again, I'm looking at my notes. I've talked about this in other videos, but a big thing for me, I find, is translating that the thinking function, to use that as the messenger of the emotions. So you're having these emotions, you have to bring up the emotions, identify it in your head as to what it is, and then you make sense of it slowly through that process. Now, I find that that is a very exhausting situation, especially when it's a heated content that we're dealing with, potentially on some sort of topic with someone that is important to you in your life. So, and explaining the emotions, it's also hard, I find, because with the explanation comes this pause, this hesitation that other people misconstrue as being more detached from the seriousness or the willingness to participate in that. And I find that thinking about those things and putting all of those things, because you know that that has happened in the past and you've had a negative response because of your hesitation and because you're having to process on the fly, that you, or for myself anyways, you tend to really get drained because you're applying prior situations that haven't worked. So you're trying to mitigate for something that hasn't happened yet, hoping that it won't happen again, because you're usually wanting to have some sort of output that you are able to have the type of exchange that leads to value being added. So the energy that is taken in that situation, I don't know whether or not other people can fully appreciate it, especially because that is something they do naturally. And they also are dealing with someone who is not being great at expressing the specifics in a way that appears maybe heartfelt. Instead, you can kind of come across as pretty artificial. So getting to the artificial side, I find specifically the fact that I'm translating emotions through thought, it comes across as almost robotic in trying to capture how I'm feeling, because I don't have that immediate response in the way that maybe other people do. I don't have a necessarily mad response, or a loving response, or even like guilt response in the way that maybe other people would. So at times it gets, the medium of delivery takes over the message of what you're trying to deliver. And I would love to hear what other people have noticed in their own experiences on this as an INTJ, specifically as a female too, because, and for all the generations. I love hearing from the young ones all the way up to the 60s and 70s, to see if that changes, or if you have found ideas or tools on how to work with that, because I think that it has a problem becoming a barrier to the relationships that we're wanting to form, because regardless, humans want to be with other humans and have that interest of enjoying and sharing company with others. So would love to hear your thoughts on that. This is a quick one because it's Sunday and I should get out of the house. So love to hear your comments. Please, if you have any video requests as normal, please put them in the comment section, and thanks so much.